to share with you some cards that I've made, and I have quite a stack here. I was going to put it in 2 separate videos, but I thought I'd just leave it in the one, and hopefully it's not too long. All of these cards I made when I went on what I call my creative getaway. Every year, my girlfriend Debbie and I, we rent a cabin. Well, actually, it's a house on Lake Superior, and we make sure we get one with a hot tub, an outdoor hot tub. And then we create all weekend, besides going for our walks, and we walk up the mountain. Well, actually, it's not a walk up the mountain, it's a hike. There's even a rope to help you climb up the one mountain part where all the rocks are and that. So that's about a 2-hour hike, I think. We really enjoy that. And the rest of the time, we just create the whole time. I think we were there for 3 or 4 days this time. And we take over the whole place with all our supplies. And when it's time to eat, we just move a little area so we can fit our plate on there. And then continue on after we eat, we take over again. So these are all the cards I made when we went away. And the first one here, this is a redonkulous design image. It's a digital image. And when I colored her up, I didn't like how her boots turned out. So I just cut them off. You can always fix things, even if if you don't think you can always fix something. You don't have to trash the whole image. And this is an old paper pack I had, and I just thought I should use it up. And again, I colored her up with my Copics. And then the inside, I used leftover paper, and of course my recipe cards. I know you're probably bored of hearing about me using my index or recipe cards, but I do use them all the time. And then this one here, this is a CC Design image, and I really like her. She is so cute. And what I did was I colored her up again with my Copics, and I paper pieced her dress and her booties. And what I like to do when I paper piece, and I'm sure a lot of you do too, is I add a little bit of color with the Copic markers to the shading and stuff like that, just a little bit here and there. And like the bottoms of her boots, I colored those in a little bit darker just to give it a little bit more dimension so it's not so flat. And then I just used a punch, and then the inside. And then this one here is a gorgeous girl image. I just think she is so pretty. I love these gorgeous girl stamps. They remind me of my daughter, my middle daughter. And then I punched out some flowers and I formed them. And then I added some rhinestones and again colored her with my Copics. I paper pieced her dress. And then here I just cut some pieces of the pattern paper out and backed them with the same cardstock that I used here. And then the inside, and I stamped on the index card on this one. And then this one, oh, I love this image. This, Philaine gave me this stamp, and I just think she is so cute. And again, I paper pieced her dress to match this part here, the paper here, and I did some shading on her dress as well. And again, of course, colored her with my Copics. And then this one here, I just, for the background, I just hand cut some little, funny little shapes and put them behind there for the clouds, and then I just sponged on a little bit there. I don't know if you can even notice them, but I wanted to make the background, and then I drew in the grass here, and that says for my special bud. I really like that card. I think she turned out really cute. And then the inside here, and what I did was I just took black ink and I just distressed the edges with black ink. And then this one here is another gorgeous girl stamp, and I just love these stamps. They're so cute. And here she is dancing on some books. And I love the colors in this one. I like the dark, earthy colors, and I really like this background paper. It's all books, and it goes perfectly with her on her books up there. And it says, oh, the places you'll go. And then I cut out, stamped, colored, and fussy cut out the little book onto the side there. And then the inside, I stamped on the recipe card and then stamped and colored a little butterfly there. And I really like how she turned out. So there's that one. And then this one here, I want to say she's a Greeting Farm stamp. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I think that's who she is. I think she's Marcy, but I'm not sure. And what I wanted to do with her, again, I colored her with my Copics, and I wanted the background paper to match. And of course, you know, chances of getting the exact same color are pretty slim. But what I did here, and I've done this before, is I will take a white piece of cardstock, and then I'll color whatever color I want. I'll just go around the edge with my Copic marker, and this one here I wanted it to match her shirt, and then I'd adhered my image on top of that. And I did the same thing with this edge here, and then I colored in some more, and then I stamped the butterflies, or punched the butterflies out. Simple card, and then I just added a little bit of blue background, and then here is the inside. And then this one here, I don't know what this image is called because I borrowed this stamp from my girlfriend, and I just think this is such a fun card. I like the colors. They're nice and bright, and I like when I back certain colors on the black cardstock because it just makes the colors pop even more. And this says, "I adore everything about you." And I just think that is such a cute stamp. It reminds me of a cartoon when I was a kid. I don't know if it was on Sesame Street or something, but it just reminds me of a cartoon from my youth. And then here's the inside again. I backed the papers with the black cardstock and leftover papers I used. And then this little one here, again, I don't know the name of this stamp because I borrowed it from my girlfriend. It seemed like she used most of my stamps and I was using a lot of her stamps that weekend. And this paper here was given to me by Natalie in our swap. And again, I colored this cute little boy up with my Copic markers. And lots of detail in this stamp. It's really nice. A little bit harder to color because it's very intricate, but it looks cute. And then here is the inside, just leftover papers. And then this one here is the same paper pack. You notice they have the exact same trees, just different colors. And again, this is one of the Gorgeous Girl stamps. And this one, I love this one. This one for sure reminds me of my daughter, except she hates the color pink, but she loves her cat. And what I did on this one is I wanted the image to like blend in with the background paper. So what I did was I found a color similar to the tree, and then I just drew in the branches, and then drew in some of the little flowers and stuff that were on the tree because I wanted it to just blend nicely. And then here it says, "It's the little things." And then there's the inside, and there's the kitty. So there's that card. And then this one, I was just saying, how masculine can a card be? Like, all I need is metal on this, because I got a lot of plaid. I got the boy image. I got the black. Totally a boy card, except maybe I could find a little piece of metal and put it on there. And this is, I want to say, a greeting farm image, but I'm not sure. Somebody either gave that to me or I bought that and it wasn't in a package, but I think it might be a greeting farm. If I'm wrong, sorry about that. And so like I said, I used lots of plaids and background and backed them up with the black cardstock. And then there's the inside. And I wish I would have inked or put black cardstock on the papers on here too, but it's too late now. So there's that one. And then this one, oh, this is like one of my favorites too. I love these. This is another Gorgeous Girl stamp. And one thing, usually when I paper piece her dress is paper pieced here, I usually just cut the dress out. Like here, I intricately cut out her hair. And then I noticed my girlfriend, who is kind of new to stamping and coloring, she was coloring straight on top of the paper piece. And I'm like, well, how much easier is that? So that's what I did here. I just cut her dress out, and then I colored on top of her dress. I colored her hair, and it turned out good. And then here I drew in the grass, and I also made this little ribbon here out of paper, if you can see. I just folded it, and then I inked it so you can see the cut marks and that out better. And then the inside. And here I backed it with paper, but then this piece here, I inked it with the black ink. And so then this card here, this is a fun card to do because my girlfriend and I decided to follow a sketch. And we were both following the same sketch. And if you're like me, if you follow a sketch, it never looks like how it was supposed to be. Whereas this one, it actually looks quite like the sketch started with. It had the banners here, and it had a stamped image here, or a sentiment, and it had a stamped image over here. So I think it turned out pretty close to what the sketch looked like. And again, this was one of my girlfriend's stamps, so I don't know the name of it. And then the inside, and this also came with that stamp set that she had. And then my last card, well, actually I have another card I gave away. I'll just put a picture on at the end of the video. And this one here is a Pure Innocence stamp, which I think they're so cute too. And it's the sending some happy mail. And I just put a lot of different pieces of paper on the background. And then here I just did some faux stitching with a pen. And again, colored her up with my Copics. And here is the inside. So there you have it. There are all my cards I've done when I was on my girls' creative getaway, and I had such a fun time, and I can't wait till we go again. This year we went twice. We went in the winter as well, so we didn't get our hike in because I do not like the cold. But we did this time, I'll tell you, and lots of walks. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you can get some ideas or some inspiration from some of my cards. Thanks again. Bye now.